Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Zaya Show. And today, of course, I hope you like this beautiful butterfly sweater shirt. I'm so used to wearing sweaters. But today we got a few special guests. So today we got the music duo that makes very rock, pop, indie sound, which I personally like as well, because I'm an indie podcaster. So it's only right that I love indie music, right? So this duo is starting to release their debut extended play on August 21st, which is already has been released. So definitely listen to it. It's called No More Parties. Please give it up for Dec Serrano. Oh my
Hey,
gosh, it's Dec Serrano. Hey.
well,
All
nice seeing you
right.
here.
And yeah, so the members of Dec Serrano, obviously, I gave all the names just so that way all the audience can keep up. So we got Dale over here, then we got Tony. So how's it going, y'all?
Great.
Great, yeah.
Super happy to be here.
So first, of course. Thank you so much for coming on. So I definitely want to talk more about just like how does it feel to have an extended play or just like any music being released to the world as a body of work.
It's crazy to finally have it here and out, and yeah, it's super exciting, a little scary, but great.
Great.
I'm
So
finally, yeah.
yeah. So when we talk about No More Parties, how did we get to that title? Because I like to party.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main song we realized was going to kind of like shape the rest of the EP was Vices, and that song kind of focuses on going through a pretty tough breakup and kind of turning to the wrong coping mechanisms. And there's a line in the song where Shock, one of our really good friends who's on two songs on the EP,
Mhm.
she says there's no more parties after we're through. And it's kind of after she's talking about ignoring all her friends' advice, ignoring her parents' advice, just kind of like falling deeper into the breakup. And so Dill and I were kind of going through all the songs together, and I'm like, I feel like that's really a fitting title because it's like the saddest EP ever, talking about like, oh, I'm facing the music finally, like I'm waking up, I'm like going to just
Right.
like do this, like deal with everything. So kind of ironic, but
Yeah, it was a good fit, and I like that you said, I like parties, and
Oh
I
my
think it's
gosh,
like,
that's so beautiful.
yeah, I think it's also kind of like the context of it too is like in this case, it's like partying in a way,
Yes.
not helping, not good.
Right. Exactly. So this kind of explains definitely I love what y'all both said about it. So with no more parties, this kind of explains the cover art. So this is the official cover art for the project. So is that kind of where the inspo for the artwork kind of came about?
this was a really funny situation because basically I maybe for a year now was telling Dill like I know what we're gonna do. This is our friend Jackie who we actually met while working on these videos, and she's one of my really close friends now. And she's in four of our band's videos.
Okay.
And I remember really early on thinking like I want to have it be like her watching the TV, kind of going through like all these memories. Like it'll be this big collage of like every video Dill and I have done the last like 4 years
Right.
together. And she'll be drinking a drink at a bar. And then that became the video for our song Love Song. But when we were filming it, I was gonna take photos and like have that shot of her looking at the TV at the bar be like the big cover. And it just
Wow.
felt too polished. Like I just felt like as I was watching it more, it felt like very sophisticated, very like poised and put together. And the EP is just so messy and so like kind of has a grungy feel to it at times. And so basically the last still of Love Song is her putting her head down at the bar when the background's kind of blurred and like all her friends have left her and
Mhm.
she's kind of alone with this like table
Wow.
full of drinks. And it wasn't even planned. She literally just put her face down on the table and I was like, this absolutely has to be it. Like
It has to be it. Oh my gosh. So I know I looked at a few of the pieces that you sent to me, and I definitely love the story throughout the whole project. Very felt very cohesive and very much more like obviously a film, a project in a way because we have Dale that loves theater, we have Tony that loves film, so we'll talk about that later. But I kind of find it fascinating about the development. What was the first song of the No More Parties project that y'all actually wrote together?
The first song was Smile, and that was, I know, it's like still, I think very much like we think of it as sort of the cornerstone of like everything.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was the first song we wrote, and it was actually for a film of Tony's that it was going to be sort of featured around. And I think it ended up sort of kind of the process of doing that, I think, sort of is what kind of got the ball rolling for the two of us writing together. And I think the realization that the song was good and could like live on its own and sort of like kept, just the process just kept going. But yeah, I definitely think of that as sort of what got this whole thing started.
Right. So Tony, so we actually have a little sneak peek of Smiles for everybody just to get a little taste of the film. So I kind of want to talk about like what was the concept? Was it kind of like teamwork when it came to like the music video, or was it kind of like Tony, you kind of had this idea that you envisioned for Smile?
I feel like so much of Dec Serrano's works were kind of just like accidental. Like I feel like that's a really maybe bad way to frame it, but I was in film school at the time in Boston, and I remember Dill was in like every project I did basically, and I had this little like project. I was in this class called Suicide and Literature, and
Oh,
it was pretty dark. And Dill and I had this little
sounds
like
very
indie
dark.
song.
Sounds it? Yep.
Oh my
We had this
gosh.
like little like indie ballad sitting on the sideline, and I was like, it'd be kind of nice to put a visualizer to that. So we were looking through old footage we had, and I'm like, oh, I have this little video of you walking around Boston crying, like black and white. It's very moody. I think it could actually fit the song because it wasn't filmed for it at all. Like we just reused the clips, and it kind of was perfect. But
That song always eat my heart out, even though I'm in the happiest moment in my life. I'm just like, it's so sad and so good. So literally all those clips that we saw, and honestly, Zayfam, please go watch it. All those clips was already filmed before y'all even made a song, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Ate it up.
yeah,
Y'all clocked it. Y'all clocked it. Ate it up. So I know for sure I always say Smile is one of my favorites. And I think the reason why I resonate with Smile is because as we could tell, especially Zay fam, like if y'all like, listen to the whole song because I listen to a song like on repeat, repeat, repeat. That's how you know I really like a song. And I really like the instrumentals because it kind of gave me the vibes of like folklore in a way, but it was like a little poppy, but it was like a little rock. And it was just like the perfect mixture of everything. So were y'all inspired by your own music interests and y'all kind of just combined it with y'all both liked in a way when y'all were making Dec Serrano, especially Smile?
Yeah, I think there's definitely inspiration from, like, I think we both take like a lot of inspiration from things, and we reference a lot of other music that we like when we collaborate. And so I think especially like this song for me, just to get like really guitar nerdy about it, is definitely I like that you said like folky pop, because the tuning that I play in for that song is a tuning that I learned years ago from a Goo Goo Dolls song. So like I just like, I feel like there's just little influences everywhere. But yeah, I think that song is so it is folky, and there's something like so simple about it that I feel like is, I think when you can be like really like the most effective and the most simple at the same time, it's like really powerful.
Right. And Tony, what about you? What kind of music inspiration did you take in working on the project in general?
that's such a hard one because I feel like my like we don't really align in music interests. Like there's this like small sliver of like synth pop and like indie rock that's like
Mhm.
completely in common. But I think like when I think about my favorite artists, I don't know if I see a lot of them in this. I mean, I grew up, listening to sadder alternative artists. I mean, 1975, Lana Del Rey, like,
Right.
and also older folk artists from like the 60s and 70s. I mean, I have a little Carpenter's record behind me as we speak. Marco next to her. I feel like that kind of sums up where we are
Right.
interested at.
But the thing is, what I like about creativity and also just in general, like y'all group makes a perfect example of two differences can blend so well together and make a masterpiece. And that's what I really love about creation and music because it's music is kind of like I feel like always being judged in a way, especially if you're on stan Twitter. It's very like, are you a pop girly? Or are you a rock girly? Are you an R&B girly? Or are you not an R&B girly? And I love when I see new musicians, especially new music in general, test the boundaries of what sounds like a TikTok trend versus what is actual music and what y'all create is no shade to everybody else, but it's actual music and it's a vibe and it's definitely something that's very substance in a way. So Smile was that for me. Substance. I play it like literally on the way, even though I'm not sad about anything in my life right now, but I'm just like, it's just a good song to vibe out to. So to know that y'all recorded the video literally before you even wrote a song, was y'all already a group at that point, like Dec Serrano, or was it kind of just like it's just film project for that depressing class also, by the way.
No, I think we were just working on a lot. We had done like some shoots, I think, together, and I think it was actually like a shoot where in the middle of it, one of us was putting on music, and someone said, "Do you know this band, Laney?" And I think we both like clocked in like that we were really big fans of this synth pop band, and I think that was sort of our initial like music overlap connection because like he said there's this little electro synth pop like connection that we have, and but no, I think that might predate the at least us being officially like a music writing duo together.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, we were
Perfect,
best
got
friends
you.
for a while.
So,
Oh, no, sorry, there's a lag.
oh no, go on, Tony. No, you go.
Well, I think we were so close for so long prior to doing music together that by the time it kind of came to fruition, like we actually just like sat down and like played together and showed each other songs. I mean, most of our songs, I feel like the early ones we recycled kind of older demos I'd done, I don't know, when I was a bit younger. And so I think it was nice to kind of deep popify, like make them a little more like stripped and kind of like indie and acoustic. Because even Smile had like three different producers work on it before it got released. Where we were like, should this just be a upbeat synth song? And like, I'm sure floating around the web somewhere, there's some old versions of that song that I would hate to see the light of day. But like, you know, you have to try it out and see what works for you. And I think Smile's honesty lies in the fact that it's so simple and it's really to the point. And I think clouding that song in particular with synths wouldn't have done it justice. Like the feeling would have gotten kind of diluted, you know?
Right, I definitely agree. And let's move on because we smiling very good. So I know Smile was kind of that first song for you. So we're gonna get into the one of my second favorite songs, of course, is Vice. All right. So let's talk about the creation of Vice. How did that song come about?
That song, musically, I remember it was different. Um,
Mm.
and I had this like little riff, and we were going, and I think it wasn't until we started recording um, that we realized that it was sounded too much like another song that's like a really famous song, and so we we hit pause, and I had to kind of rewrite it, and so I think that from that point, I remember on my end, I really wanted the guitar to be like totally simple, but also I think that the difference in going from an acoustic song like Smile to going to like an electric song, even though it's like not a heavy rock song or anything, like I think just
Right.
using electric guitar like just gave it this difference than obviously having the duet. Um, but yeah, that song I think changed a little bit at the beginning, and then I think Shock coming in really gave it a different life and created this duality and two sides of some
Hmm.
kind of conversation back and forth.
Hmm. And she ate it up. So how did that process come about having her jump onto the song with y'all? Because she's is an amazing singer as well, and artist, and the video is stunning too.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, she's a good friend of mine as well. I She's from Alaska and my family's from Sweden, so we were both back home visiting our respective families, and I was kind of going through it and figuring out like what was next for me and what I wanted to do, and I really wanted to be inspired, and I went online and I just saw Shock had posted this video to her song Jenny, and I was obsessed with it. It was like 24 hours of listening to it nonstop, and then I finally just like cold DM'd her, and I was like, I will direct the video to the song, period. And then she replied like the same day and was just like, hey, I don't know, but we can try and make it work. And we just
That
started
is
hanging out. Oh, sorry.
that is actually
No,
gotcha.
I mean, I didn't know my primary school in the US.
Okay, gotcha. So with the creation, so I'm gonna play a little snippet for everybody to hear of Vices, okay?
I'll leave you to your own vices. Hop on the ring, pack my own boxes. That's cool, I guess it wasn't so deep. I would dry your tears, but you won't miss me. My dad said it can hurt sometimes. They come and go, but it should be alright. But no more parties after we're through. I tell my friends I'll take down all the photos of you. Photos of you and us and us. And I'm just trying my best to calm down. I'm sad.
Ate it up, crumbs, ate, devour, lick the plate, ate it up. And what I really like the harmonization, and I'm a harmonies type of girl. Listen, I sang Ariana, so Ariana be doing stacking. So I was like, okay, like Vices are really good. So Dill, did you have anything like I know because with the production, like when you was doing the production for the song, how did that feel? Like having another artist sing along, because y'all already did when you kind of got used to each other's voices. So adding on to another person that can add on another element. How did that feel?
Shaq's really good, and I think, and I'm someone who makes so many mistakes when I record. Like it takes me so long to do things that I mess up all the time, and so it was really, she's just so good, and so I think it really like elevated the process, and I think that song in particular, like you asked about the production of it, I think that song in particular, to me, the production of it really represents like a lot of what would kind of set the tone for us in terms of production for like the rest of these songs, because Smile was so insular, like with the two of us, and so simple. I think with Vices, what happened was it really became like a learning experience of working with several other people that were in different places, that were on their own, timelines, and the kind of evolution of that song in terms of rewriting it. Okay, now we have her stems. Now we have this. Like the whole process of putting that together really like set the tone, I think, for the rest of the project. And so it was a crazy learning experience, and it was also just like so satisfying when it was complete. And yeah, I love that song. I think she sounds so good in that song.
Sounded so good. You did good, Tony. You did good, Tony. So when it came to the visuals, I just want to know because how did that go? Was it kind of just like improv, like how Smile was like, oh, we're gonna just kind of go with the same vibe, or was it kind of like you had a story outline plan for the video in a way?
I think another example of me being guilty of reusing old footage. Yeah, I mean, I it was so funny. I was we were living in Boston, and I knew one of the models who was in the video, and then I
Mhm,
basically was like, I want to do a video with you. He never acted before, and
mhm.
I asked Adele, I'm like, hey, would you come over just for like 4 or 5 hours, and we'll just like film some really nice little like black and white stills, and I want to do like a kaleidoscope effect on them, and I want to find another person. So I did a small casting
Wow.
call. I found the other model, Flower, and they were both just so awesome to work with. And yeah, Dill came over. We literally just shot it mainly in my living room, and then we went to the beach for maybe like an hour. And I kind of knew, like, we were playing music,
Mhm.
just like I had a sad playlist playing, and I had Vices and Smile on there, and I was kind of like, oh, I could totally see this fitting.
Right.
So I did know partway through at least that I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna use these for at least like the Spotify banner. But then we had enough footage, so I just was like, we should make a little visualizer. So
Wow. And what I really like about your creation, like your creation of all the visuals, is that it literally felt like everything was in the right time. And I feel like with art is so weird because it's like you can record something for like 2 years ago or like even 6 months ago and not even use it until like, oh wait, this works so well with my other project. So it's kind of crazy. And I love as a art myself type of nerd that art really do kind of work its way in together. So what other moments? Because I don't want to give all the songs away, Zay fam. You gotta go stream the whole extended play. Okay, now after this episode. But what other moments did it feel like pieces that were like kind of universal invisible strings that were kind of like working so well for this extended play?
That I think there's another video that I think is would be the most recent one that was done. Was another thing that we shot like 2 years ago that for something like totally different again that ended up working really well for the song. And I think in that case it was another um, thing where it took a while to figure out what the visuals for it's for promise
Right.
for fitting the correct visuals. And there was kind of a tough one because that one is such an emotionally specific um, song and tone. And yeah, and we had this footage that we had shot like 2 years ago for another project, where I'm just doing some bad stuff in the scene.
But
And
it's just crazy to me, like literally how those moments could always, and I feel like it just felt more confident for you as a duo, as Dec Serrano, that wow, we have all this footage and we making all these songs that coincidentally working. So let's keep going and going and going. And is that kind of how the extended play came about, where it was like you kept recording and it was like, wow, we got a good few songs now. We can make a body of work. Like, hold on, wait.
I mean, it feels like such a mixtape to me, like functionally, because I mean, kind of like I mentioned earlier, like there would be moments early on where we were working with like pop producers and trying to do songs
Mhm.
more in that direction. I mean, we did have a couple songs come out here and there that were more in that upbeat style, but while we love that, I think just like this came so much more naturally to us. And
Mhm.
um, going from like writing a song like Smile about like the hardest time in your life to writing really like upbeat kind of simple tracks. Like there's room for both, and I definitely want to have a discography that like allows for there to be
Mhm.
both. But I think like we weren't really feeling the pop songs like on an emotional level the way that these other songs we
Right.
resonated with immediately.
Yes, I definitely agree. And I'm so glad you brought that up, especially because I know the EP is rooted in like that post breakup pain type of vices and journey to healing, of course. So what made you want to explore that territory a bit more?
I think it's really Tony can probably speak on this more, but I think it's just really there's a lot of stages, and I think it's like a really I think there's a lot of like inspiration there and discovery, and I think a lot of music that is about that kind of thing is maybe like more focused on like one or two aspects of that type of thing. And I think what's really interesting about this that um, is that there's like stages to it. And I
Mhm.
think also like zoning in on like certain moments that kind of come from those aspects is sort of what I think is interesting about these songs.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. So for sure. So with Promise You Won't Be Mad it dives into social anxiety, which is honestly, I feel like it's very common and it's been more common since the pandemic. So, which isn't often like obviously like tackled in breakup songs. But can you walk us through like, how you wrote that one, tackling a bit more of a social anxiety type of approach?
I was just about to graduate university, and I think
Mhm.
speaking of just like, the pandemic and just what kind of the anxiety that came with that and the lack of like socializing at times too. I think going to university during that was kind of an odd time. And yeah, I was just like reflecting a lot on the last like 4 years of my life. And then I got sent this beat and I really liked it. And it was really short, 80 seconds, with one of the producers we worked with on the rest of the EP. And yeah, I basically I think I wrote it in maybe 15 minutes. It just kind of like poured out. I think that everyone remembers moments when they're in a party or they're in like this big, social environment and they see like someone they really didn't hope to run into. And I think in this case, it being an ex, like similar Smile, where Smile is like that I'm across the bar and I don't want you to see me, but like wow, I moved on. This one is like super head on. It's like I want to like talk to you. I can't believe you're doing this to me. Like it's so just like everything's boiled up to this point, and it's like how can I talk to you? How can we like make amends and like get past this? And it's like the climax kind of the EP. That's kind of why it became like the middle track. I mean, I feel like it really sums up that brief mania you experience when you're just like so beside yourself. It's like, how did we end up in this situation? Like, how did we let this happen? And so, yeah, it kind of just poured out when I wrote it.
And I love that because I find myself having those moments too, even with podcasting, because it'll be like, oh my gosh, I have this great idea. Because I really had that with this season. Because like your emotions really do kind of help you create whatever art you're at in the moment. And when I see artists be like, yes, I wrote this song when I was in this phase, but I no longer had this type of connection with the song anymore, based off of that type of analogy, just like I was seeing that through art and through myself, like, understanding creatively, what song are y'all most connected to on the project at this current moment?
Oh, that's such a good question.
It's a really good one.
Yeah. I think maybe No More Parties, like the last, because I think that what's interesting about that one is that it's like it's part of Vice's that's sort of been like, changed and evolved,
Right.
like sonically. And so I think looking at that sort of from like an emotional point of view or from a connection standpoint, I think that's sort of, I think it really makes sense that it's the last track, and that there's this like how you come out the other side of something like that. And so I think because I think either of us are currently going through anything, that is representative of No More Parties, the EP, I think coming out on the other side and what you do with that and how it's changed you is probably the closest that I think I feel at this point. So I think that one probably would be my answer.
Okay, what about you, Tony? You ain't getting out of this question. I know it's a hard one.
I mean, it's hard. Dylan and I always talk about it because now that we finally have, multiple songs out and now an EP and everything, I mean, it's really easy to have my ranking of our work kind of change frequently. Like there's times when one song really isn't doing it for me, and then the other one day, like the next day, it's like, oh, that's my favorite, Which I guess is normal. I mean, I think it's kind of going off what Dill was saying. Like as you get farther away from the emotions when you write those songs, sometimes it's harder to relate or it's easier to see like how you felt back then. I think for me, probably my favorite song currently is Love Song. That's kind of like the sequel
That's
to
actually
it. That's your favorite?
That's actually no, like seriously, Tony. Okay, so I'm literally about to be hilarious right now. So when you sent me the material, like for the interview, of course I'm gonna listen to everything, and I was just like going through because I was like, okay, let me figure out what songs I want to ask about more because I just feel like it'll make sense. Like you got to hear it first. And Love Song, I was just like, okay, like This one's a little hidden, so that's why I didn't want to talk much about it because I wanted to, everybody just to hear it first before I even give a little away. Because that song is literally like my favorite at the moment because it literally took. Because Smile for me was my favorite just because of the calmness and steadiness I'm feeling in my life right now. But Love Song, I was like, that's the song for me right now.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean that was such a funny last minute addition because I was driving home from work actually just like maybe 2 months ago, and I was getting kind of a hard time from someone. I was given a hard time from someone saying like, "Oh, you don't ever write happy stuff," and I was just thinking about it, and the song is literally being like, "Oh, I'll never get to write anything happy." Like you're like not allowing me to feel, the ability to do that because I think Love Song originally to me was kind of like this more angry track with the original lyrics. It was kind of like, when you're constantly going through it in a relationship,
Mm,
maybe it's marked by breakups or arguments or just like conflict or even the feelings that you feel like around your friends when having to talk about the relationship. I feel like it's easy to build resentment. And the song originally was kind of just being like, wow, like we're not going to have this happy fairy tale ending that like I keep convincing myself we will. And like I'm seeing it for what
right,
it is. Like, we are literally stuck in this like cycle and I'm never going to write like a love song about you. But then once we revised it more and like kind of like sat with it, I realized like it's sad, but I think it comes from more of a sincere place where it's like, wow, like I'm less angry about it. I'm more just realizing like I'm choosing to be in this situation right now and I need to choose to not be in it because it's like this is how it is and it's not gonna change. So
right.
I love it. I love working with Thea too. That's the other singer on it with
Mhm.
Dill. It's always just a fun time with the two of them. So
Yeah. And I really love this song, and I'm so glad you explained it because I didn't know exactly how to explain it, but I feel like it was just love with the love song. It just feels like when you know, and it's like you really don't want to let go, but it's like if you just let go, you will get something better. So I really love that song. And just like, especially like for some of my friends, no shade, I ain't putting them out there, but for some of my friends, I'm like, you need to hear that song. You need to hear that song, no shade. So, because I'm like, I'm gonna wait till it release so you can get your streams, but I will send it to some group chats and be like, listen to the song. Let me know what you think.
Play it for as many people as many times as you want. Totally good.
No,
Totally good.
literally.
yes.
Exactly. So ideally, so outside of the amazing duo, the Dec Serrano duo, y'all both are very busy with your own projects. Okay. So Dill, okay, I know me and you connected when we first talked about theater
Yeah.
because we both do theater. And
Yes.
also you do film. And you also
Hmm.
teach music to kids.
Hmm.
I taught theater to kids. So
Nice. Oh,
how
that's great.
did theater moms or I know you dealt with some music moms, but theater stage moms will they will try stuff. And I'm like, your kids can't even read the lines, sweetheart. They're gonna be so how did those roles those fun roles that you get to do outside of the duo kind of came into inspiration of helping out the duo?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that with theater, like you can probably relate to this too, but I think with theater and with the music for kids, I think there's this instant reaction, right? Like with theater,
Mhm.
you're with an audience, or even in the rehearsal process, like you're with a room of everyone else who's watching you, who's giving you feedback. It's so um, and you meet so many different types of people that there's this great like spectrum of how people relate to things that might not be like exactly how you relate to the material. Like you
Mhm.
learn from that. And I think those perspectives, and the same with kids, like kids are so unfiltered and unguarded
Right.
and like just like honest, and they're honest right
Mhm.
away. And I think those responses really help inform like, oh, like people reacted to this, they didn't so much react to that, and I think that just kind of widens my own awareness and understanding of how people digest like art and how they create themselves. And I think that's really like invaluable sort of information to bring into like this project that is, or at least like the music or whatever it is that really informs like how to sculpt these things so that how we feel gets across and is relatable to like for other people.
Right. Good, good. And with theater, what's your favorite theater show that you ever did?
Oh, that I've ever done. Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, what's your favorite overall? I'm shocked. My favorite that I've ever done. I did Spring Awakening years ago, and that was like really. I did Tommy, the Who's Tommy, like a long, long time ago. And I think
Okay.
I love like I'm such a guitar like I love rock music is like such a big thing for me, and so I think I love the combining of musicals. Like I love classic musical theater music, but I also
Mhm.
really love like like different sounds, different types of
Right.
music, be like in that space as well. And so I think just to be in like two kind of more indie rock centered musicals,
Mhm.
really fun for me. Yeah.
I love that because for me, I'm like you either be the theater person that really loves musicals or don't like musicals. And I'm one where it's like I like certain musicals, but for the most
Yeah.
part,
Yeah.
I feel like some of them are overdone. And it's like the music sometimes don't make sense to the plot. And then when it's like, okay, we're singing about how happy you are, but you were just crying like 1 second ago on this stage. It's like
Yeah.
makes sense for me, please. Like, please. All right. So making sense. Okay, but we're gonna be making scenes because Tony over here being the filming bag, okay, over here, like he be filming, 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 directing, directing, directing. So I kind of want to know how did you make that jump into directing? Because I know directing is so hard to kind of be able to sustain. So as long as you've been doing it, Tony, like how you got into directing.
I mean, when I was a teenager, I was just not athletic. I was like in a group of people who love playing sports. It's hard, when you're sitting there, you're kind of like, oh my God, I'm really gonna like, I don't know, like fall on my face if I skateboard in front of you right now, or I'm like gonna be like, a mile behind you if we're gonna go on a run or whatever. I mean, I think when I was around 14, I had a friend who we'd go in this group to the skate park, and his brother had like an old camcorder and wanted me to film him. And I had so much fun doing it. And then I didn't even know. I'm like, wait, how do I put this tape in my computer? So I'm like over here trying to find a way to adapt it and record strings. So I won't pay for an adapter. And I'm just doing all this stuff. And then he's like, make it look cool, like add effects. So I had to learn how to edit. And I think like that challenge of having to make something that was kind of low quality and not really well shot and just saying kind of fun was like
Mhm.
super like just exciting. And so yeah, I got to go to film school, which was really nice to pursue that. And I think being around so many creatives, including people like Dill, just like really helped inspire my early music videos and short films. And now as I lean more into commercial and doing music videos for other artists, I'm really just hoping to keep that collaborative uh, I don't know, nature of it. I love just like getting to help with styling. I love getting to like, collaborate on the editing and the color. I just like want to do everything behind the scenes. I guess kind of creative directing as well. I know it's overused,
Mhm.
but I love being involved in all facets of film.
Yes, and one thing, creative director is not overused. It is overused for people that don't know exactly what it means. You know exactly what it means, so you could be a creative director. I hate when TikTok be giving Pinterest, like, oh my gosh, you're a creative director. It's like, no, you want to be a marketing director. There's a difference. There's a difference. As a marketing girly, there's a clear difference between a marketing director and a creative director. But you, Tony, you got it to be a creative director. So you get that title, sir.
Thank you.
So throughout your projects and throughout all your short films and your collaborations with artists, I know for sure there's always that one that you would never forget. What is that one film project, Tony, that you would never forget?
Oh, I mean, I could talk about a lot of negative stuff, but I think to talk about a more
No,
positive
just like
experience.
yes, like a funny one where it's like this day
Yeah.
was so crazy.
I think that's a big part of it. Is film is very stressful, and sometimes you're working 20 hours a day to make it happen, and you can all be really short with each other or just really going through it. I mean, one project I think was the most rewarding, even though it had those experiences, was my film Vänner. It means friends in Swedish, and Bill actually it was shot in his apartment, and that's where we first made Smile. Basically, it's a film about two friends going through this kind of back and forth. I don't know. Basically, just like one friend confesses he has feelings for the other, and the two of them are trying to figure out like how can we stay in each other's lives without making this, really uncomfortable and awkward. And in the end, it's kind of clear like they can't do it. So it's a really intense film, and I actually kind of wrote it more like a play, and I only hired actors who had stage experience.
Okay.
Because I wanted people who are willing to, run through it, because you're supposed to be exhausted. Like, the characters are really just going through it. And so we get to Dill's apartment. Windows are duct taped with trash bags, and it is 100 million degrees inside. So we're like all taking breaks outside. We're like fanning each other, like ice packs, everything. Like, I don't know why it's so hot, right? AC's on, fans are on. Like, there's no reason. And then there's a camera issue, so we started 4 hours late, and we were there until maybe 5 in the morning. I want to say, like, I went home 22 hours after I first left my house. Like, it was just the craziest shoot, but everyone was so into it. And I would always say, hey, guys, if we need to stop this, I will pay for a second day. Like, no, but the actors got so into it, and I feel like because they felt that exhaustion, that emotional like taxing, like, I think they were really just into it, because when they were crying on cue, we were all crying, like, and I think it was yeah.
You will cry on cue, because I will never forget. We had this kind of similar thing in theater. I forgot which show it was for, but our director was not happy with how we ran it. So we had to run it. It was tech day. So tech day is already long. You're already there early in the morning, and you're already there. You got your 1 hour lunch, but we ran it the second time in the afternoon, and the director did not like it. So we had to run it again. And this show was one of the most mentally distraughting shows. Like, I was playing like I was getting killed in the show. So poor little me having to do all the blood and all the stage comments. I was like, I'm so tired, but I'm gonna go through it. And I just feel like for actors, like, we're willing to put ourselves out there on the line for the director, especially if we like them. We gonna put ourselves on the line. just feed me or give me water. I'm good, and I will do it like crazy over and over. But those are really good stories. So now this is a part where I'm so excited for, because we are all coffee fanatics. Okay, so before we get into naming, I just want to know, what is everybody's favorite drinks? My favorite is a caramel macchiato. What about you, Dale?
That's a good call. Oh, this is so complicated. I drink like, because it's like in the morning I'll just go for like black coffee, but if I'm going to like a cafe or something, then I'll totally just get classic like latte or cappuccino or something. Like, I think there's just something like I like feeling like classy and adult and whatever. Yeah. So I know those are kind of basic answers, but
No.
I used to have like a 16-step like frappuccino I liked, and I used to read it as a humiliation ritual, like, because it was so awkward. It would be like, how can I even look you in the eyes as I tell you how many pumps I need of this syrup and that one? And then I think I got a little tired of that. So recently I've been really into like blonde iced vanilla lattes. I feel like that's very fitting.
Okay, gotcha. So we know our flavors. Now, my boyfriend, fun fact, y'all, everybody, my boyfriend was a barista at Starbucks. So I kind of know a bit more about coffee, more and more. So, yes. Now, we obviously know that no more parties. Now, let's just say, obviously, after a party, you kind of need some coffee. It's a day of hangover, right? What would you give each song, coffee or tea? I would throw tea just to make it a bit more easier. What song is what type of coffee or tea?
okay.
I feel like Promise.
Because I already got one.
Oh, sorry.
So I already got one idea. So for Smile, what I would give Smile, if I saw them, I would give them straight up black coffee with 2 creams and 2 sugars. A little sweetness, but you just want to get through the day.
That's fitting.
Yeah, I think Smile is the simplest coffee order for sure.
It's like,
I gotta think about this. This is hard. I was gonna say I think No More Parties is like the sweetest one.
yeah, I feel like it's like
like a vanilla latte or caramel macchiato, like something like that I feel like is kind of like your like little treat at the end in a way.
What about the caramel crunch frappuccino? No, Sam, what did you say?
I didn't. No More Parties, the visualizer, so like blurry and so just like the people are so intoxicated that the idea of like putting a sweet drink on me on top of that feels like nauseating. But I feel like after that kind of night, you need that sweet treat in the morning, you know? I feel
For
like
real.
some songs like Promise You Won't Be Mad is so aggressive, but you're also like losing so much energy that the next day I'm like, you need like a quadruple shot espresso. Like you just need to
Mhm.
simply like get up and keep going, you know?
No, seriously. I feel like for that song, I feel like it will be a blonde roast. Because if you lost all that energy, you need something that's gonna pick you up real quick.
Real strong.
Yeah, for real.
I'm gonna go. I think Love Song is some sort of tea
Mhm.
drink. I don't know, London Fog maybe. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't really drink them, but it just sounds right.
That one sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
For now for vices, I feel like it will be like an autumn drink. I don't know why, but I feel like an autumn, like a pumpkin latte, spicy
That's a really good
latte. I don't
call.
know. With vice, I just get fall. I don't know why.
You know, it's
That's
so
really,
funny you say that, but I actually remember extremely vividly the four of us shooting that video on the beach and then going, we were all so freezing because it was like, I want to say December, and we all went to this cafe after, and I got like a PSL iced.
yeah,
And I remember immediately
yeah.
walking outside being like, why did you get to drink ice? Because my hands were like freezing holding it.
Oh my gosh. Not the irony of everything. Well, that's a good one. What other song? Did we forget any other song? Did we?
I think the last one would be Again, but Again is like so hard because I feel like maybe it's like a flat white, like an ice flat white. Is that
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah,
Again feels like you just want it again. You just want this one. That way
yeah,
the barista could just keep making it over and over and over and over again. So it'll probably be like a simple but sweet one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the funny thing with all of the songs is like I feel like there is like a simplicity to all of them in their own way. So it's like it's hard to like assign more. Like I keep thinking of like really simple coffee drinks.
No,
I think
seriously.
pretty good. I think we did a good job.
Yeah,
I think
I
we
love
did
that.
good. I think we'd be great baristas. All right.
I mean,
Now that we gave each one their own beverages, okay, we're gonna have to get real. Okay, what song was the hardest to write and which song was the easiest to write?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I think easiest for me was probably Smile in terms of the guitar part. I think it's really like for just my aspect of that. I
Mhm.
think that was the easiest. Hardest is really good. I think Love Song musically for me was probably the hardest to write because
Mhm.
I think just in terms of the chord progression, it took me a few. I think maybe the most tries to sort of get it right. And I remember actually being at work with my guitar because I like have my guitar at work for when I teach and stuff. So I think I was
Mhm.
had my guitar, and on a break between classes, I was just messing around and I came up with something, and it just hit me that it would work for Love Song. And I like huddled around the corner and like took my phone out and like recorded it in a voice note and sent it to Tony, who I knew would still be asleep, but I still was like, when you wake up, tell me if this works.
Yeah, I feel like Love Song was the hardest because I feel like, kind of like I mentioned earlier, like I feel like there was such
Yeah.
a more angry version of that song at one point, and I think in the end, like I wanted something that felt a little more soft and sincere, even though it's
Yeah.
honest. Because yeah, Dylan and I were just like voice memoing each other like all the time. Like I'd be in my car, like just parked in front of my street, and like recording a voice
Mhm.
memo in my car, singing the song, and then Dylan would do like a guitar demo. There's like maybe like 12 versions of that song, I want to say. Like I have like a massive
Wow.
folder on my laptop of just like every single little line change or vocal or how we do it differently.
There was a day too when you sent me all the extra verses, and you were like, "See if you can make this make sense." And so I spent like copying, pasting, like rearranging them to try to And then I think we ended up making it like way shorter anyway. So like, but
Wow.
yeah, that one had a lot of, and I think just also like the instinct that it would be good because it was like
Mhm.
the of the process. Like
Yeah.
having the instinct that it would work but trying to figure out what version of it worked was also just an interesting kind of last minute thing.
And I just feel like, no pun intended, but love is complicated. So having a song called Love Song, it was going to be complicated from the jump.
Right.
It was just going to be complicated from the jump.
That's a great point.
But what's not so complicated is obviously getting this beautiful extended EP a listen, Zay fam. So tell the Zay fam and tell everybody that's listening where they can find y'all.
I mean, all major streaming platforms. I definitely recommend Spotify, Apple Music. We're trying to build more of a social media presence. Dylan and I are super unmotivated by using social media, but
we're not big social media people, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I am a social media person, so I'm going to throw out my application here and be like, if you need a marketing person, I have a degree in it.
Great.
He said, wonderful. Take him.
Yeah. Finally.
And also, all of their social media platforms, and I'm going to put y'all through this torture. It's all in the link down below, everybody. So if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Radio Shack, if that's still a thing out there, it's all in the link down below to make it very much easy for them. But also, definitely give this EP a listen. It's definitely a vibe, definitely something perfect in time for the end of summer into going to fall, especially the winter months. You won't regret it because you know I got good music taste. Also, if you look at all my stuff on Instagram, you would know I've already been putting their music on repeat throughout my posts for you. So you're going to listen either way, people. All right. But other than that, any last words you want to tell Zay fam?
Yeah, thanks for listening to us talk about this music. That means a lot to us, and we're really happy with it and really excited about it. So please check it out and let us know what you think.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us today.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming on, and I can't wait for y'all to create, is the first album in the works right now?
Ish.
Ish.
A little break
when that time comes.
Yeah, we got more.
But when that time comes, I'm always here for you. So perfect. So thank you so much for coming on to the Zaya Show. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment down below, and check out Dec Serrano on all streaming platforms. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.